Santa arrived early today for millions across the country with the first of more than $10 billion in handouts. Arriving with the advice, go out and spend it to keep Australia from recession. It's not a moment too soon. The ANZ index of job ads has dropped more in 2 months than at any time in 30 years.
Look, I think the message from the Prime Minister is very clear that they should spend it and spend it for Australia.
I'm going to spend it, yes.
Going towards a Nintendo Wii for my son.
By spending this money,
get out there and spend.
If you hadn't noticed, the word of the day is spend. Christmas has come early for millions of families and pensioners via the federal government's stimulus package, launched to help rev up the economy.
You've got so many retailers under pressure at the moment. I mean, their margins are terrible, their sales are terrible. And if things don't improve between January and June, you've got retailers going out of business all over the place.
Retailers are pinning their hopes on the $10.4 billion package to help boost Christmas sales, some using smart marketing. Jerry Harvey is even using the name in a sale, the 5-day stimulus package promotion.
We've got to try and take advantage of all this money out there at the moment.
Jerry is perplexed. While 20% of his stores aren't making money, unemployment and interest rates are low. Normally in a climate like this, consumers spend.
We've got to slow down in spending. I mean, this is like, it's like a fear campaign, and it's working. And so we've got to get rid of the fear side of it so that we don't go into recession next year.
The Australian economy needs folks to spend, and they've got to realise that it's not as bad as all the pundits are saying it is.
30%, 50%, 50% over there.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've actually had sales like this happening pre-Christmas.
Executive Director of the Australian Retailers Association, Richard Evans, hopes the pre-Christmas sales will stimulate spending.
We haven't seen it like this in my memory, and it's been a long time since we've had this type of activity in retailing.
It's going to flow into electricals, it's going to flow in right across the board. Food, groceries, people are going to benefit.
Scott Driscoll represents the independent, smaller Australian retailers and hopes consumers will keep the money in the country.
Look, there's no doubt that at the moment consumers should be looking for Australian-made, Australian-owned.
So who's benefiting from the cash handouts and how will they spend it? First up, $1,000 per child for eligible families.
Baby stuff, everything you need really. I don't know, nappies, that's always, I don't know, I've got 3, so I'm sort of on the everyday necessities rather than the big things.
Then there's $1,400 for single-aged pensioners.
Camera's one. I do need some work done on the home, on the garage. That's another thing.
And $2,100 for pensioner couples.
Well, I'm going to bank mine first of all, and then if there's bills to pay, I'll use it to pay the bills.
Retailers will be happy to know that a recent survey found that only 1 in 10 people receiving this one-off bonus will use it to pay off part of their mortgage. The rest, well, they plan to spend up big. But some economists warn that for those in debt, paying off the credit card is equally important.
The message is, if you're in a secure job and you don't have serious debt problems, use the money to spend to have a really great Christmas. But if you know that you have debt problems, use the money to make sure that you're still standing.
As Company Director of Switzer Financial Services, Peter Switzer hopes the stimulus package will save this country from job losses.
The link is quite simple. The more we spend, the more it generates future demand and it keeps employers employing people.
But his view for the future is bright.
We've been scared into believing that recession is a definite thing, but I don't think it will actually happen. And as a consequence, the Prime Minister is saying, go out there and spend for the sake of the country.